How's everybody doing? You guys good? God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all the blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything, everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right. Yeehaw! It's Sunday morning here in Granada Hills. It's also parade day. So welcome to everyone. Welcome to all of you in the fellowship hall who are still visiting while we're getting underway. So we're delighted to have with us the wonderful Jason Goldstein for our musical inspiration today. And he will be all that, believe me. And our wonderful assistant minister, Reverend Nancy Woods. Let's give her some love, sure, we can do that. And for those of you joining us here in the room, those of you joining us online, my name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here and spiritual director for some at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. We're in the North San Fernando Valley, about 45 minutes north of LAX on a good day, on a really good day. So we're delighted to have you with us. If this is your first time joining us, please hit that subscribe button and you can check us out. And so if this is your first time here, just know you're most welcome. And so it's nice to see old friends and new. So what do you say we get underway by taking a deep, conscious breath and feel the release as we just allow ourselves to step away from the busyness of the morning, the worldly clamors. Just allow ourselves to surrender to this moment, this eternal now moment, as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is a unifying nature of all religious thought and experience which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. we light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God. That's the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course, within our own hearts. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, remembering Kathy T., Wendy S., Nathan M., please put in any place where there's conflict in the world, perhaps within your own heart, please put silently the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
As we gathered here in recognition of that one light, that one flame, that perfect presence that's within each and every one of us, we open our hearts and our minds and our whole being to accept and know the wonder of the divine, the perfection of beingness that comes forth individual as each and every one of us. As we embrace the idea and understanding that the uniqueness of spirit is that there is newness in every aspect of being. Every thought, every way we express life is the wonder of the universe saying, yes, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm being. And as we release and let go and let that which is the essence of our being come forth as the consciousness, as the thoughts, the words, and the expression of life itself. The wonder, the beauty of it, the glory of it says, yes, I am here. That I am, that we know that it exists, that I am, that is the essence of all, unique in every way, from every leaf on a tree to every grain of sand in existence, and every individual, knowing that the gifts of being is so infinite in its presence that we can rejoice at every opportunity to experience the newness of life itself. And it is with this understanding, this awareness, and this embracing the law that responds and brings it forth into manifestation, that we rejoice together as we acknowledge it, as we say, and so it is. Good morning. Sometimes it changes from one service to the next. I have been, I would say wrestling, but I haven't really wrestled. I have to say I have been toiling with the idea of playing with the idea of a truth that I got out of the service last week. One in which triggered me to understand and to appreciate the idea of the infinite intelligence in the presence of spirit that is manifested all over the world and in everything. And how this uniqueness is what I really have been seeking to embrace, because to understand and to know that the spirit of life is never the same in anything and anyone, to understand and appreciate the idea that the uniqueness of being is what we are about appreciating. And it is also what we are seeking to bring forth, because each one of us is unique in what we're bringing to the world. And this uniqueness, this idea of this infinite presence being able to bring itself into expression in so many different ways, is almost like what the journey is. Because sometimes this sameness idea, we think we want it, but when you get sameness, it gets so boring. The uniqueness, the infinite presence is constantly giving us something to grasp. And not only is it giving us something to grasp, we are actually part of what everybody has to grasp. Because as I look at every face out here, there is nothing about Jolted that I have to compare or anything. Everything is unique. I feel like I got really triggered when I have to give it to Reverend Mike when he talked last week. He talked about the different teachers and how it was the same topic, same subject, but they all came from a different avenue. So when I sit down last night to read and talk about what I was going to think about what I was going to say this morning, it came up again. I read something from Holmes, and he kept telling how this teacher and that teacher and all them teachers all brought something for us to be gift, the uniqueness of life, and that we are here to embrace it. And when we think about it from that way, we realize that we can let go of the fighting. We can let go of the arguing. We can let go, because that's where we bring the joy to every experience. We don't get the joy from the experience. We bring it to the experience. It's already in us. That's the infinite presence. And we bring joy to everything. So what I really, really appreciate the idea when I think about the different teachers and different a way in which spirit is uniting us with this awareness as it moves to unite science and spirituality back together. And all this stuff that we say over there and over there, the oneness of life. Look at all the cells in your body, and they're all doing what they're supposed to do. Billions of them. It is so fascinating that, I don't know, how I just feel like we're just now beginning to understand the truth of who and what we are, and that everything around us is divine. Our journey is to see it. If you don't see it, if you see something that isn't divine, whew, I have found that I have to turn around and look at Nancy's consciousness to find out why I don't see the divine. The beauty of God, oh my God, comes in so infinite amount of ways. This is a wonderful journey we on, you guys. And I'm so glad to see all of y'all here. Because I really feel like each one is going to bring something to it. So thank you for joining me on the path.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Woohoo! All right. This is a nice one. Lost and weary traveler is searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. To guide you home. There are weary travelers searching everywhere you Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. You're beautiful. Just beautiful. You're beautiful along with the song, too.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So the announcements for the day, we have what we call a 2-minute tune-up. So if you are looking for something to create even further or to create new and you want somebody to help you do it, tap a practitioner on the shoulder. And let me see. All the practitioners, would you raise your hand so that these people will know that you are? Eric, you have to raise yours too. All right, so one of these people would be glad to lift whatever idea you want to put higher into the Lord in a greater and more expanded way. And we have youth church, and we invite you to, our youth church, I did that for 30 years, and I still have youth that are thanking me for, they are now 40, 50 years old, but they are thanking me for what they learned in youth. Some of us don't realize what we have gained until we get 30 or 40 years old, but we use it anyway. Today we have our parade, and I did dress warmer because I got so cold the last time. But I think it's actually going to be 70-some degrees, so join us as we step out, and I would really like everybody from the church to come because then people get a chance to meet people that are on the path, and you are the light that they need to see. You are that one. So, Sangha also is another class that we have going on, and it is an experience in which people are coming together to share their understanding and awareness of spirit in different ways and in different formats. So that's on Wednesday at, what time does Sangha start? 9:30. So Reverend Nicole, I think she's with the youth, but actually she would talk to you about it. Actually, a lot of little ladies around here that goes on a regular basis to join. So that's our announcements. I think you need to, stand and say the Declaration of Principles with me. Okay. We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to, through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in eternal goodness, eternal loving kindness, and the goodness of God.
right. Thank you, Reverend Nancy. If you'd be open to a little coaching, I think you really need to bring some more enthusiasm into your presentation. That was awesome. It really was. So welcome, everyone. It's really great to see you all here. And I have to say, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to a joyful noise that I haven't heard since before COVID. So thank you, parents. We're going through the effort to get your kids over here. I remember those days. It wasn't always easy to round everybody up. And so they're back there having a great time, and it's really great to hear. You know, there are many aspects of being involved in spiritual community that have some very gratifying moments. Yesterday was one of them in that we had a memorial service for Betty Russell, who was Kitty Hack's sister. And it was just really great to see those of you who came to support Catherine just simply by your presence, right? I think sometimes we forget that just us showing up is often enough. And that too, going through the effort to suit up and show up to be anywhere, right? That too is spiritual practice. So it was really great to see so many of our group who come out of the Sangha, which Reverend Nancy spoke to. Not everyone, but many folks out of the Sangha. So the Sangha is a group which it's open to everyone, but now it's mostly women. And I have seen some pretty amazing things happen in this group. My favorite story about the Sangha is I was kind of, running herd because I'm not the preferred teacher, but I was like the sub. And the students were good. They weren't acting up too much. But I was, and as was often the case, by the way, men, for those of you who haven't been in a Science of Mind class, if you're the only male in the class, that's totally normal. So I'm facilitating, because you don't really run it, you facilitate it. And a young woman who came in who was very distraught. She had some stuff going on at home and was at her, a small child, a teen, and second language, undocumented. And I just watched the women of our Sangha community just wrap this gal up and love her up and let her know it's going to be okay. And so she went on to become a very integral member. So there's something very healing about community, but particularly because, believe it or not, you can have a healing in Rotary. You can, right? If your finances are kind of haywire, you can network, or in tips. I've done all that networking stuff. You can you can heal your finances in there anyway, or at least your social skills. But in spiritual community, we're working with something that goes much deeper than just the physical trappings of life. And this is not to dismiss them in any way, right? It's kind of hard to think of things spiritual if you have a groaning belly or you're fretting over how to pay the rent. Or as, in my old contracting days, wondering when the next job is going to hit. If it will, right? So this is the condition with which we have chose at this time to incarnate, to have this experience of life. And if we understand life from a metaphysical perspective, then we have called each other together to share this experience together. You're like, well, wait a minute. I don't remember inviting that guy. No, everyone. Perhaps even the people whom we find most challenging. Because that's where the work is. Is there any work with people we get along with? Right? Well, there can be, but generally, no. I have to apologize to my wife on a regular basis for making so much work for her spiritual practice. I know, poor kid is right. So, and this word Sangha means a community of practitioners. We borrow it from the Buddhist tradition, with the three jewels of Buddhism being Buddha, the exemplar or the teacher, the Dharma, which is the teaching, and the Sangha, which is the community, the spiritual community. And of course, there are just as many facets within this notion of the jewel. There are many facets in any fine jewel. And in this way, then, within a Sangha, there are Sanghas, right? That we can have community within community. The master teacher taught wherever two or more are gathered, there I am. Right? Many ways of saying things. In fact, many religious teachings, and I would propose that all religious teachings have their own three jewels, right? The exemplar, the teaching, the practitioners. So for those of us in the West, the one God, the Most High, the I am that I am, the law or the teaching, the people who follow the law, the I am that I am, Jesus, the teaching, and the folks who follow it. And then Islam, the I am that I am, and the Prophet, blessed be his holy name, and its adherents. Isn't it interesting how much drama is around that whole idea, though? Like for thousands of years, trying to sort all of that out because of a deep attachment of one wanting to know with certainty what the one true path is. And I remember those days myself and was ready to pitch the whole proposition altogether because it just was getting to be too hard for my little brain to sort out. I mean, so much so that I was committed to praying, but I really hated the idea of kneeling. And so I would walk around in my bedroom. Yeah, it's me again, but I'm not kneeling. Right? Kind of silly. Because I had this attachment to the perfect understanding, which is not necessary. Finally, the light bulb goes off. Because it's all perfect understanding, just different facets of the same jewel. Or as Houston Smith would say, many paths up the same mountain. And we too, each one of us is an individual jewel with its many facets, absorbing the light from around us, internalizing it, individualizing it, refracting it, reflecting it, radiating it, even directing it at times when we remember that we can. So ironically, we don't really know this until we know it, right? So as Rumi once said, that we are like fish searching for the water we're swimming in, right? And this is why in the youth room, we actually, the young adults years back painted it white, and then there's little black fish, and with the idea that you're swimming in it. And the kids, it worked out that the chalkboard paint didn't really work out very well, but the kids would go in and try and write their names in the little fish. That's how they would check in. Right? But this idea that we are swimming in the presence of the divine. Now, this is a big idea if we come from other traditions who want to kind of box things in. which doesn't make them wrong. It's just the way they do it, right? Some folks like line dancing, other folks like ballroom dancing. But there's nothing like a little cowboy cha-cha once in a while. All right. So there's something within us that feels like there's a need for a thirst that needs to be quenched, calling us to keep looking, to keep looking. We may even find that we have found that perfect pool to drink from, having quenched our thirst, and then sitting by the side of this refreshing pond and go, is that it? Is there nothing more? Never understanding, really, that right where we are, God is. Even understanding that we don't want to get hung up on the G-O-D. Understanding that that's a placeholder word for an experience of life that goes beyond the surface to something much deeper. How do we describe, in the way that love is a placeholder word, how do we describe that feeling of union that we feel with the beloved? That feeling of, the consummation of two souls coming together. And yet this is precisely the possibility that lies for us with the divine itself. And yet we're often getting tripped up on definitions and perceptions, demands, instead of embracing what's in front of us right now. So our charge then, Ernest Holmes wrote this, switching metaphors from water to fire. Ernest Holmes says that the spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and eternal flame of spirit. The eternal flame. Our charge then is to recognize, nurture, and express this divine spark of what? Of wholeness. The wholeness that already exists, needing only our recognition that it's already there. So I have a pencil drawing at home. One of these days I'll be brave enough to post it in a PowerPoint. I did it when I was like 20. I was in college. And I don't remember if it was an enhanced experience, but I do remember this line drawing. And what it is, it's a cloudscape with these eyes and a beard and God rays coming out of the sun. Because that was my conception of the divine in those days. And you know what my mother said when I gave it to her for a Christmas present? She said, "That looks like you." I mean, I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about it now. And yet, the biggest challenge that I've had in this teaching when I first came here, and still today, well, maybe I'm not that. And of course, none of us are all that God is, but we certainly all that we are is God expressing. That's the rub, because I should have this perfect life. And I actually do have a perfect life for the most part, except when I don't. Yeah. So back to this idea of flow, water imagery. So we are naturally, irresistibly drawn to wholeness. There's something within us that yearns to discover that which makes us whole, to realize the peace and joy that we inherently know is ours by divine birthright. But it's difficult to see our life as wholeness if we're seeing it as where a facet is a fracture. And a facet is not a fracture. A facet is an aspect of the whole jewel. I just thought of that. I hope I go back later and write that down. And I wanted to share with you this story that illustrates this nicely. And it's from the Hindu tradition. And it's called The Seeker and the Well. The seeker and the well. So after years, maybe you can relate to this, after years of searching for the ultimate truth, after years of seeking for the ultimate truth, the seeker was told to go to a cave in which he would find a well, and the answer would be shown. Now, who wouldn't go running to that well, right? Ask the well what is truth, and the well will reveal it to you. Well, indeed, he'd found that well, the cave. He made his way up through the dusty trail and up the mountain and found the cave, made his way down into the cave, found the well. And when he got to the well, he asked the question, where is truth? And from the depths of the well, there was a reply. Go to the village crossroad. There you shall find what you are seeking. So filled with hope, the man made his way down the trail on the road back into town, got to the crossroads only to find 3 rather decrepit, unimpressive shops. One shop was selling pieces of metal, the other solid wood. The third shop sold thin strips of metal. These kind of weird shops, right? Here, I got a thin metal shop. Nothing there. Nothing resonated. Nothing and no one there seemed to have much to do with the revelation of truth. So disappointed, the seeker returned to the well and demanded an explanation, but was told, what do you suppose he was told? In due time, he would understand. How many times have we been told that, either within our own heart or by that annoying friend who always speaks truth to us? Feeling that he had been made to look foolish, he left the cave and set out again on his quest, seeking truth. Years pass. He grows older. And as he grew older, he moved more slowly, more deliberately, and he began spending more time in his life, being more present with what was before him, seeing things more completely. And one night, he's walking through the village, and wafting on the air is the sound of sitar music. And it was beautiful, played with great mastery and inspiration. And deeply moved, the truth seeker sat before the sitar player, and he looked at the musician's fingers moving over the strings and began to see intently the sitar itself. And in that moment, the truth he sought was revealed. The sitar was made of wires, of pieces of metal and wood, just like he had seen years before in the 3 stores at the crossroad. So he understood then the message of the well, that he had already been given everything he needed. That the task is to assemble and use it. So the parts of our lives that are not so meaningful, as we perceive them only as separate fragments, perhaps things that we have compartmentalized, which is okay. but compartmentalized just the same. It's both a gift and a curse, is it not? But when we see these fragments as a whole, deeper, more vivid reality of meaning emerges. Now, this is a very poignant lesson in many ways. Joseph Campbell, one of his famous sayings was, "The cave we most fear to enter is where our treasure dwells, where our treasure lies." Now, why would he say that? In 12-step, they insist that you become honest with yourself. You take a moral inventory, defined by yourself, but most folks know what that means in the West. And that's fine, but then you have to share it with someone, right? They have a saying that you're only as sick as your secrets. Now, why is that? Right? Because of the energy that it takes to keep all those things in order, right? It's like we're playing cosmic whack-a-mole, right? But you can't ever get all of them, right? And then one of them pops up and you're like, oh, crap, right? But this really is our point of power. This is why we have chosen to incarnate, to do what? To prove what a mighty manifester we are? Well, partly, right? If we understand that what we are demonstrating is the infinite power and presence of the Most High. Now, many of us play nickel, dime, quarter in $1 million game. That's the truth of it. Some of us are trying to right-size our life, and doing this in a conscious way is appropriate. Right-size our life so that we can be more comfortable. That is totally appropriate. And others want to use this teaching to grow not for the sake of acquisition, but for the expression of creativity to demonstrate what? That there is a power for good in the universe available to everyone, that I can not only use it, but I am demonstrating it now. So I often encourage people, if you can use this teaching and just get out of your own way, you're going to do pretty good just doing that. And if you've managed that, and if you're honest with yourself, or you're on the front end of the timeline versus near the back end, it's important. It's important to set our aim high, to look beyond the horizon, knowing that there's an infinite power and presence, a creative impulse of life itself that is backing our play, bound only by what? Our belief in it. How do we strengthen our belief? By using it. How do we use it? By maintaining our conscious contact with the Most High. By using it in the ways that you think, this will always works for Nancy, but it's not going to work for me. It works for them, but it's not going to work for me. And that's total BS. Belief system. Because the truth is, as long as I keep saying that'll work for Nancy, but it won't work for me, the universe says, you're right, it won't work for you. But I think sometimes people come to the practice knocking their knees together a little bit, afraid that they're going to do it wrong. But you can't do it wrong. You can't do it wrong. So I encourage you, we're in this embracing wholeness. We're going to be talking about this the whole month. In the Christian calendar today is the first day of Advent. And in that tradition, they light a candle each of the following weeks to welcome, the light of the world. It's a wonderful, beautiful practice. At the same time, the nights will be getting darker as we head into the solstice. And then as we emerge on the other side of the solstice, the days will start getting longer. We'll be bringing more light into the world. So then our challenge, as Reverend Nancy so beautifully said, was how to bring that light of joy to the world. We bring it. We don't look for it. We're not looking to take it. We want more, more, more. But what can I bring? What can I give? I think this is why the teacher Jesus said, bring the little children unto me. Right? This is the natural state of being. So long as they're not too hungry or too tired. All right. So that's enough of that. What do you say we take a deep breath? And just, how about this? Indulge me a moment. Just give yourself a big hug. Embrace your wholeness, the wholeness of who you are right now. And just to feel that it's the arms of the universe, the loving embrace of the Most High, whispering in your ear, yes, my beloved, yes, in you I am well pleased. Because the truth is, each one of us is an expression, the individualized expression of the Most High. That we no longer need to be spiritual seekers knowing this truth. But we embrace the idea of remaining spiritually curious to see how this is so. So let's practice that today. See what we can glean from it. Take whatever insights, any joy, take that into our work week. And see if you don't see people going, something's changed with that boy. Come back or girl, and come back next week and we'll compare notes.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Susan, the plans they made, they put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you again. Look down on me, Jesus. You gotta help me make a stand. You just gotta see me through to another day. My body is aching in my times I have, and I won't make it any other way. Yeah, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and fine machines and pieces on the ground. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. Yes, but I always thought I'd see you. Yes, I always thought I'd see you. Yes, I always thought I'd see you again. Again.
Jason Goldstein, everyone, give him a little more love.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Don't forget on the chat, you can say nice things about him behind his back. All right, Chloe, you want to bring up our offering baskets, or we're just going to take a moment to practice some generosity? And just know, for those of you joining us online, if you want to take time to do that, or if you've already done so this month, thank you for the many ways that you support our center. And so if you've come prepared with a gift today, just bring it on up as you're ready, and we'll do a couple verses of our offering song.
Spirit gives through me. Spirit receives through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us. Spirit receives through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So going with them for just a moment longer. Just take a breath with me, if you will. As we recognize that this basket represents two things, one of the generous heart of the individual, as well as the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart of the individual, that person who knows and knows that they know that God is our source, our substance, our supply. The receptive heart of this spiritual community as we accept these gifts from whatever avenue they find their way here, through the mail, through online giving, and through gifts here in the center. That we receive it all with a deeply grateful heart. As we know together that these gifts go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only this spiritual center, but anyone connected to it in any way. And from this place of gratitude, then, we as community extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well, that in some wonderfully crazy cosmic way, all of it is an emanation from the very heart mind of the Most High. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see its demonstration in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts. We feel a sense of power and grace that propel us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, And so it is. Amen. So yes, so parade day is happening starts at 1:30. We will be decorating not only the lightless tree, but we'll get that done first. That's always the first step. But we will also be decorating the center. So of course, kids are totally welcome and most welcome at this, should they choose to come in. Oh, look at this.
So Chris made this.
Wow.
Go on our tree. Isn't it beautiful?
Nice
so we
job,
have
Chris.
We have a little tree in there, and they made snowmen and ornaments, and we're decorating it. It was really fun.
And the cool thing about the garland is that it's all different sizes and shapes and colors, kind of like us.
Yes, unity. And that's why we hold hands when we sing our songs.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be.
Okay, that's cool. I don't. All right. Nice job. Thank you, Miss Jenny. Thank you, Reverend Nicole. And as I said, thank you, parents, for getting your kids here.
And Charlene.
Oh, hi, Charlene. How you doing?
I'm good.
Charlene's was a teen here and is now a teacher here. Yes. That was like 5 years ago, right? Yeah. All right. So. Yeah. All right. Praise out, Rev. Thank you all for being here. It's good having you here. Good job today. Thank you.
It's nice to see the seats with people in them now.
Yeah. It is.
So we thank that Holy Spirit from within for feeding us the message that we are worthy of the greater good of life, that we are sufficient within itself. We are actually already whole. So as we embrace this idea and go forth from this experience to live it, we say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to know and to understand the beauty of who and what we are. So with love, we thank the Lord for revealing it to us as we say together, and so it is.
Please join me in singing the peace song. This is where we stand up and sing the peace song.